Hey guys, we have some audio issues here at the beginning of the podcast, but we fixed it about 5 minutes in, so sorry about that mix-up. Hey yo, everybody! My name is Saberspark. Oh no. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it right now.
Well, I'm just excited to hear what you had to say.
I wanted to let you all know, in case you forgot. Hey, what's your name?
I forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm ACRacebest. Welcome to the Semi-Perfect Podcast.
Woot.
First one ever. It's
Woot.
begun.
Woot. Woot. It has begun. And my gosh, what an awesome welcoming. We have 119 people in the chat right now.
Aha.
Wow.
Yes.
One sip of coffee before we get going. So, yeah, this is our first episode. And to think after years and years of hanging out with ACRacebest and goofing off, we just now finally got around to making a podcast together.
It's about time.
It really has. I remember we were talking about this like a year or two ago, saying like, hey, we should do a podcast together.
Yeah.
And then we played Left 4 Dead instead.
Actually, what are you doing right now?
You want to play some Left 4 Dead? Let's do some verses. Get Sarah, and I'll get my friends.
Yeah, Sarah will be really excited. No, yeah, but this is just something that we've kind of played around with the idea of doing this. I'd say that kind of the seas parted with the opportunity to be able to start doing this. Both Saber and I obviously keeping up with our YouTube. Well, one of us keeping up with our YouTube channel.
Oh, hey, no. You're an all-star.
Yeah. So I think that obviously we're here to have a good time, and we're here to help you guys have a good time. We've said this multiple times that this show. Can I help you?
The people are saying that you're very quiet compared to Saber.
I'm quiet compared to Saber. I'm quiet compared
I
to
know.
Saber.
Pele just said I am a lot louder than you. So,
Shut up.
welcome to technical difficulties of the podcast. And this is kind of something.
Paleo waited till now to bring this up, by the way.
Oh, this is part of his master plan. We're going to hit some technical bumps along the way, but we will fix it. Hold on, I'm opening up a link here. How do I fix this? So, oh wow. All right, Reyes, try talking right now.
Hello.
All right, that should be much, much better.
Sarah's louder than me.
Sarah. All right, cool. I think we're good.
Yeah.
We good? All right, folks, sorry about that. We should be good now.
And like we mentioned, there's going to be things, we're just getting this going, so hopefully we don't have too many of these technical difficulties, but we'll just kind of roll through them. We're used to having technical difficulties anyways. I mean, if you've seen our Who's Lines.
Well, that's the heart of improv is what we do. It's what we do.
No one can hear me, Saber.
Oh, no.
Wait, someone says much. Oh, I forgot this is on a delay. Now it says now we're both quiet.
Really?
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I think we're both fine.
Uh-huh. Okay.
They're saying, hear you guys loud and clear. Awesome. I think we should be fine now. Paleo says we sound fine. Paleo is like my version of Sarah for technical stuff.
Paleo.
Paleo, give me one last checkup. Let me ask him. How do I sound? Or how do we sound?
I see everyone say no, which makes me wonder. I think I just blew out eardrums and speakers.
Well, Paleo is my authority on this matter, so let's see what we got.
Authority. It's about time we had some. Let's see here.
Young man.
So, guys, we're checking out the chat. Let us know how you guys are doing tonight. The season 5 continuation has happened this past Saturday, so obviously a lot of talks about that. Saber.
What?
I'm just. It still says that we're.
I just turned our volume both up, so it's at 100% both on OBS. And there we go. People are saying it sounds good now. Yes, Redemption. I think we're doing much better. Sorry about that, folks. Amazing. Oh, how do we sound now? What do we sound? Do we sound much better? There we go. People are saying we're good to go. Loud and clear. All right. So, Race, as you were saying, the season 5 hiatus came to a close, and now the show's continuing on. And you got around to watching the episode, right?
I did. I got around to watching it. Yeah, no, it was an interesting episode. We'll jump into that in a second. I want to make sure about one last thing here on this podcast. Oh, Paleo just
Paleo's just going for our balls.
Yeti.
All right, so
So,
are we good?
yeah, no, I think things are ready. I need to make sure that I was checking my audio settings over here just to make sure I wasn't accidentally putting something that was going to just be going up and down. So, yeah, no, let's so Saber, we talked a little bit about how we ended up here, but I don't know. Let's start from the beginning. Maybe a little brief story about how you and I even got to meet each other. How we ended
Oh,
up
we
here.
go back to that, right? All right, let's do this thing. All right, so so how far back are we going?
Let's do conception.
All right, so one day my dad and mom decided let's have a kid. And
Oh, so this was an active decision.
it was no mistake, though Dusty Cat would tell you otherwise. When Dusty Cat said that, let's get into some stories actually. So during Equestria LA, which was about a week or two ago, we were on the Bronies React panel. It was myself, ACRacebest, of course, Black Griffin, and Dusty Cat. And one of the questions that the audience asked was, what's one of your favorite moments from the show? And Dusty Cat was answering one of his favorite moments, and that was, that's flattering because he's saying one of his favorite moments was when I made this joke about, like, Mom, I'm an alicorn, or a princess, or whatever. And then my mom, which I was voicing as off screen, was, no, you are an embarrassment. But Dusty Cat got it wrong, where he shouted out, Mom, I'm a princess. And he goes, no, you are a mistake. And I laughed because I'm like, Dusty Cat, I didn't say that. I never said that. I never said that. You got that. Are you implying that my conception was an accident? How?
Well, so yeah, we went from a Bronies React to a Trojan commercial very quickly.
Well, no, I just imagine Dusty Cat staying in the corner of the room with like a cigar lighting his face, while my parents are getting it on. It's like Dusty Cat just silently nodding, like, yes, he's on his way.
It's just ridiculous. I don't know. I personally, I found that as one of my favorite moments of EQLA because it was, it was just the perfect mistake for him to say.
Yep.
The word mistake. It was just hilarious.
It was quite funny.
Yeah. It's EQLA was a wild time, man.
Yeah, Equestria LA is a convention in not Los Angeles, despite it saying LA. It's in Anaheim, California, in the heart of like the entertainment section that is like Disneyland and the Anaheim Convention Center, where I think they host BlizzCon, or they used.
I know they host VidCon.
Yeah. You told me about that. How a lot of the YouTubers went down there and hung out at Disneyland. But, Equestria LA was held at the Hilton Hotel nearby the Convention Center in Disneyland. And we got to go there and perform, meet up with some friends. I flew out there early, where I think I arrived on Tuesday afternoon. And I didn't leave until the following Tuesday morning. So I was there for quite some time.
Yeah, no, it was quite the adventure, actually, because the whole idea, like we were discussing when you should come out, and I was like, Saber, you have to come out on Tuesday. If you're going to be here Wednesday, you might as well come out a day earlier. Come on Tuesday, because I always go to Taco Tuesday. I'm like, it's a necessary thing that must happen.
And I was so excited because, so we'll go down this day by day. So I agree with thinking, I've heard about these legendary Taco Tuesdays that ACRacebest goes to with his family and his friends. And I thought, I want to be a part of that. So I flew out there early, got to the airport, was picked up by ACRacebest and Sarah, which is his girlfriend, and we decided to go do some miniature golf and buy some time before we met up with Race's parents for Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, and disaster struck as we were approaching the wrong restaurant, which we later found out was the wrong restaurant. For those that know it, El Torito is where we were going. And apparently there's an El Torito and an El Torito grill. And the El Torito grill is like the stuck-up older cousin of El Torito.
It was
And
so
they're like-
bizarre.
It was like the fanciest Mexican restaurant I've ever walked into.
It
and
didn't
I'm just
make
like,
sense.
Where's the tacos? And they're like, well, we have ribs, wine, and cheese.
Who
And I'm
has
like,
no? And the ribs are no. Okay, so like, Race is not even exaggerating for a moment. Like this was like, okay. I watched a video yesterday called like $1 pizza versus $1,000 pizza, and the $1 pizza was superior in every single way. The $1,000 pizza was like caviar, cuts of lobster, cream frige. Not even joking about that, and it looked like a piece of rich junk. While the 99-cent slice of pizza was superior in taste and cost. The same thing applies to this Mexican restaurant where, like, hey, here's your napkin. We'll play. They weren't even playing mariachi. They weren't even playing mariachi music.
no, it actually bothered us. If you remember the music that was playing, it was like Nine Inch Nails meets Octavia. I was like, what the hell is this music?
We were laughing. We were making fun of the fact that it sounded like that dun 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 dun, like music from Ants. Here,
Ants.
I'll pull Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
No, I'll pull up the song while we keep talking. But yeah, they had.
Copyright strikes are magic.
Oh, you're right. This is Twitch.
Don't get it blocked on in Germany, man.
Oh, those Germans just can't take a joke. But yeah, I'll put it in the SoundCloud and the YouTube upload. But yeah, there's this song that sounded like the bar sing song from Ants, and it was just really boring. And I mean, the food was all right. It was good food, but it wasn't the food that we were expecting and hoping for.
No, I mean, yeah, like you said, the food ended up being good, but it was like 14 times as much as we were planning on spending that night, and it just, I don't know. It was an experience, an unfortunate one in the fact that Saber never got to experience those tacos.
Nope,
but
no tacos.
It happens.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah. Now, preceding this though, we did have a really good time stuffing our faces at a putt-putt miniature golf place out in somewhere in Southern California, near LAX.
Very particular.
That was a good time.
Yeah. It was. What was the name of the place? Do you
It was a good time.
do you remember the name of the place or no?
I don't remember.
I know that Sarah remembers, but it was like this little castle, and the putt-putt was fun. It was myself, Race, and his girlfriend, and by the way, your girlfriend is one of the most competitive people I've ever met.
If Left 4 Dead wasn't enough of a hint of that, and this is actually a funny like side story, but we were playing Left 4 Dead this past week, and Sarah really doesn't like the game because it has a lot of like derpy type of moments. That was actually unintentional, but it derps a lot, and she's also, like you said, very competitive.
Yep.
And she's just managed to end up on every team that just like can't do crap in that game.
Well, not to insult the teams, but like Sarah has a bad stroke of luck where like one day a few days ago, it was myself, Cookie Soup, who's Matt, who used to be called DB Pony, and then Paleo versus ACRacebest, his girlfriend, and then our good friend Three Stooges Matt.
Panama Matt.
And usually their team crushes our team, but we were just in rare form that night, and we just hung them out to dry. And you could hear Sarah getting angrier and angrier, and you hear ACRacebest after every round counseling her. You'll be like, Sarah, are you okay? Sarah? And which just made it even sweeter. But no, Sarah's an amazing player. That's the thing that scares me, is the fact that like she's playing on this little Macintosh laptop, and I'm playing on some like workhorse like gaming station. She's got like, you know, I what's what I'm looking for? Like I made the observation that's like Dragon Ball Z, where Piccolo and Goku have like weighted training, and when they take their weights off, they're like that much more powerful. It's the same thing goes for Sarah, where if she was on my kind of computer station, she'd probably crush the crap out of me. So the fact that she's already handicapped makes it easier, for me to win. But aside the point, we went to Putt Putts. It was fun. They had a bunch of amazing junk food there. Like it's like
Yes.
your typical like almost cafeteria style junk food.
My favorite was what was it? You got a pretzel. Sarah, I think, had like a Slurpee.
No, I had
the
a slice of
cookies-
pizza.
Wasn't it was the cookies though? The cookies were just so good.
Go figure. This place had like immaculate cookies that were like wow, these are better than like places that are known for their cookies. I don't get it. Like I had like this old. Sometimes you just want to eat bad food. Like not saying the food's bad, but you want to eat just junk food. Like you see that little slice of pizza being rolled around that little little container. You're like, I want that slice of pizza. That one that's been sitting there for the last 3 hours. I want that in my mouth.
Now, so Tuesday wrapped up, and then Wednesday was kind of just a chill day, really, for you because Thursday was going to be Disneyland. So I was at work for most of the day. I got off work at like 3:30, and then we got to hang out, and a really cool thing happened. Well, there was a cool thing and a terrible thing that happened on Thursday. The terrible thing is Saber ate most of my hot Cheetos. But the good
Listen,
thing,
I texted you. I was sitting on the couch watching like everything on your DVR from like Wander Over Yonder to what was it?
NASCAR.
No, I don't watch that crap. Jumanji, I think something. I forget. It was I forget.
What is Jumanji?
It's this
Is that,
really
like, is that
crazy-
like diamond version of Jumanji? Like what is that?
I said Jumanji. I said it right.
You were actually trying to say Jumanji?
Jumanji.
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 What? Why are you saying it so? Jumanji.
Jumanji. It's Jumanji. No, people give me the same crap about it. Like, it's
Hey,
not.
hey,
it's
Saber,
it's
say-
it's not theater. It's theater.
I was just gonna say theater.
It's theater because I'm
Theater.
not some uncultured swine
You're
who
from
doesn't
Georgia.
y'all. That's as southern as I get. As I will say y'all. All right, so all right, go have a good old glass of water.
So,
Cool
like we were
off.
saying, on Wednesday, it was cool because at one point we went, we did some stargazing.
That was good.
We
In and
drove
out.
around town, in and out for lunch. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
But the one of the coolest moments to me on this day was we were driving to the mall because we wanted ice cream, and there's this car that pulled in front of me that had these sticker cutouts of My Little Ponies on the back of the window. And I'm sitting here driving, I'm like, oh my god. Now, I'm the kind of person who, like, I love kind of reliving and taking advantage of those moments from my childhood. Where when I was a kid sitting in a car and I wanted to see something, like there was a crappy car or something funny, and I'd be like, Dad, slow down. He'd just be like, no. Well, guess what? Now I'm the one behind the driver's seat, so if I want to slow down, speed up, find something, park next to it, I can do that now. So what I did was I pulled up next to this guy at a stoplight, and you rolled down the window to get his attention.
Well, I yelled out to the guy saying, hey, roll down your window, roll down your window. And to most average folks, I think the average dude would just ignore it, but he was cool. He looked over, he waved at first, and then he rolled down his window, and I'm like, hey, do you watch My Little Pony? He's like, yes. And I'm like, so do we. We like the show, yada, yada. Are you going to Equestria, LA? And he knew about the convention because he's like, oh, no, I can't afford it. I can't go. And we're like, oh, it's a shame. We're here in town, or I'm here in town for it. We're going to it tomorrow or on Friday. And then you said like, hey, because if you're like, oh, what the heck? Let's try to have a cool moment. And you're like, do you watch any YouTube stuff from like bronies online? Do you watch any My Little Pony stuff online? And he's like, yeah. And you're like, do you watch bronies react? And he's like, yes. And you're like, I make them.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah,
oh, dude.
And this is in the vlogs. I see a couple people mentioning that. You can actually see this moment happen in the EQLA vlogs that I put up. One moment I didn't catch, however, was you and I were being idiots walking around a Walmart, and we had a moment where we walked past this lady, and for some reason in my head I'm like, hey, it'd be funny to see her reaction when I turn to you Like, we didn't have this conversation, but in my head, I'm like, I want to just turn to Saber and start talking about My Little Pony. Like, it was just completely off the wall random. And as we're walking by, I turned to you and I'm like, can you believe Twilight Sparkle, blah, 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 My Little Pony?
Yeah,
And the lady just turns and she's like, bronies!
and we kind of had a moment where it's like, uh-oh, this is gonna be really good or really bad.
Run!
She knows too much. No, we turned to her and we talked to her. It was a pleasant conversation. She was saying, like, yeah, my son likes the show. And we shot the breeze saying, like, well, there's a convention in town. It's this weekend. She's like, oh, that's very fascinating. I might take my son there for a late birthday present. Unfortunately, we never saw her at the con. But it was a cool experience nonetheless to sit down, or not sit down, but stand up while in the produce aisle and talk about the show and the fandom and kind of communicate with his parents about this Bernie phenomenon. And
yeah, I think for her it was kind of an eye-opener because she knew her son was into it, but I think it was getting to know other people outside of the house. Oh, there are other people into this, and I think it kind of like, it seemed like it opened her up. She was so excited about it. That's what I loved. So,
yeah, I mean, we always are delighted to have a good first impression on people when it comes to this pony stuff. So, yeah, that was a cool story. So the next day was Thursday, which was Disneyland Day.
Yep.
And by God, that was really cool because the park was pretty empty for the most part.
Yeah, it was kind of expected. I live out here in Southern California. I've lived here my whole life, so there's certain times where you can kind of gauge when it's a good time to go to Disneyland. And it was the day before a big 3-day weekend. So naturally, there weren't a lot of people there. And we were able to get on most of the rides we wanted to do. We were able to kind of just relax and enjoy the company and just walking around. It was a small group of us.
Yeah, Gabe, our Black Griffin, had not arrived yet. So, and this was great because when it comes to conventions, let me point this out. This is very important to well, I wouldn't say important, but just interesting, is when it comes to conventions for ourselves, it is impossible to hang out with everybody. It's impossible. Yes. You'll have a chance to maybe say hi to everybody, but as far as like you, because you're always like, hey, we're gonna hang out. Good luck, unless it's a small con like BronyCon. Forget about it. Equestria LA, it's very busy. Like, I mean, we barely saw Black Griffin at all during Equestria LA. I mean, we got to hang out with him a little bit, but like
it was actually really funny because the majority of time I saw Black Griffin between Friday morning and Sunday night was during panels.
Yeah.
It was because we were scheduled to be together. That's how we ran into him.
So he had to see us.
Well, he continues to get busier and busier now, especially with his career moving the way it is, and now getting roped up doing autographs for conventions and whatnot. It kind of just eats away at his time.
Yes, it does. And also it was during Michelle's birthday, and he was very preoccupied with making sure she had a good time and that he was and his family was also there. His parents and his brother were visiting. So
Right.
he had his hands full, and we're very understanding and chilled out friends. And we're like, hey, hit us up when you have time. If not, then we'll see you around next time. No big deal.
Speak for yourself. I left the fandom.
Good. Plan worked.
Yeah. No, so yeah, Friday.
Saberspark's Bernie's react.
I can see it now. What a train wreck.
Wow. One video per year.
You give yourself a lot of credit.
I know, that's a lot of hard work too.
No, I guess you could say most of Thursday you can actually see in the EQLA vlogs as far as like where we went, how Saber reacted, just Disneyland in general, the good time. But the biggest thing that I took from this trip at EQLA, as far as you and roller coasters, is Saber. You've kind of overcome them.
Yes, I have. At first, I mean, there's always like that initial first drop that gets me and makes me a bit nervous. But like this time around, I was a bit more prepared mentally. And one policy or one thing I've kind of developed from going on roller coasters with my friends is like there's one thing that's scarier than the drops, and that's the regrets. I hate living with regrets. That's the worst. And this, though, is a very easy thing to overcome and not let regret get to you. It's just go on the ride. Just get on the ride and have fun. Like, there are times I'm sitting in the roller coaster, strapped and ready to go, and I'm like, if I could get off right now, I would. But I can't because I'm strapped in. It's too late. It's going to happen. And I know that after I'm done, I'll be very happy that I got on the ride, and I'll be, delighted that I finally went through with it. So, yeah, it was great. Big old drops, crazy loops, Splash Mountain, all these things. So much fun. Those thrills are the ones that make the most memories.
You know what's cool is I could see how excited the chat is that you overcame this. As Wolfster Fox pointed out, you grew a pair, and we're also proud of you. I'm just kind of looking. I'm looking over this chat. It's kind of cool to just see like the variations of people that did come out and join us. I think I see I'm a Toon Link there.
Wait, was he the con?
I'm in the chat.
Oh, hey, Toon, how you doing, buddy?
But also, it looks like someone who, if anyone caught the German vlogs that I did when I went out there, it looks like Marlon might be hanging out as well. He's in Germany right now, so it's a little bit late for him.
Yeah, he's German. Is it Air Force or Army? I forget. So,
military.
Military. There you go. So, big old howdy do to Marlon, cool dude from Germany. And and once again, hi to everybody in the audience. We got 153 people. That's awesome. Didn't expect to have this many people at our podcast, so we are very happy to see you all here and excited.
Yes. So I guess it's time. Friday, man. EQLA Friday. It's going to be kind of funny because we have all these build-up stories of the days too, and these can be summed up, I think, kind of quickly because Friday, of course.
I got a story though.
Yes, you do. And I already see people asking about this story, if it's the same one that I think you're going to bring
Yes. So let's go ahead and just summarize the first parts of Friday. So we got, by the way, a shout out to Equestria LA, to Casey Robold, who was the con chair and her team. They did a great job to take care of us, got us out there and put us in hotel rooms, and we made sure that we did our part to repay them by putting on a good show. So, props to Equestria LA, did a fantastic job taking care of us, and we highly recommend them. And hopefully they have an Equestria LA in 2016. But, so on Friday, so Thursday, it was great about Thursday is we drove out from Race's home. Race's, whatever, I can't say it.
You've been watching too many Jungle Book promos.
Trust in Scarlett Johansson. No. Black Widow. So we drove from Race's, I hate you, your home, which is an hour away from Disneyland, and it was convenient because after we were done with Disneyland, we're all tired and tuckered out. We went across the street and just crashed at the Hilton, which is where the
Literally,
convention...
I drove through the wall of the Hilton in my Corolla. Take that, Sibsy.
Great driving.
Thank you.
So Friday started, we went down to the con floor, got to see some friends, got to see Lauren Faust and Bonnie Zacharle. I always say her name wrong, Zacharle or something like that. Zacharle, whatever.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Bonnie. And other folks. Unfortunately, Mae Larson was there. But for the record, we want you all to know that we love that man. Like, we just give him a hard time just for goofs. He's a great person.
Speak for yourself. You haven't been kicked by him yet.
Lucky. If only I could be kicked by the Larson. With his soft little feet, his little rider feet.
I think he has a metal leg. Yeah.
That goes with his stone cold heart.
And yeah, I mean, Friday though, like, overall was a great day, and it was probably our longest day convention-wise. But one thing that I think made it twice as long, specifically for you, Saber, was you had an incident happen.
Yes, I did. So, when it comes to conventions, I've been to a bunch of them. I've been to well over a dozen My Little Pony conventions. I'm saying that that's like haha, I'm so proud.
Yeah, you.
Here's looking at
you. This cast was from BronyCon 2012.
Yes.
What a con that was.
The 12th era of virginity. No. So... What state is that? No, when I was at the convention on Friday, I'm sorry, let me clarify something. So I've done a good job, and so has Race and a lot of our close friends, to leaving a good impression on show staff. We don't ever want to seem fanboyish, which, you know, anybody can act the way they want as long as they're nice, in my opinion, to the show staff. You know, if you want to fanboy over them, by all means. But I guess by going to so many, and I have in the past, but I've been to so many cons now that I don't really have stars in my eyes anymore. So a lot of these folks like M.A. Larson, Creepers? You there, Ace?
Yeah, I'm totally confused. I just heard M.A. Larson. Creepers?
No, I said Creepers because I wanted to prompt you to talk because I thought you disconnected for a second. I'm like,
that was a good prompt.
Creepers? I'm Ron Burgundy. No, the Creepers, you know, M.A. Larson, GM Barrow, you know, all those folks, and we're on like good talking terms. We just chat up a storm with them.
Yes.
So I say all that to say that Lauren Faust and Bonnie are two people who I still kind of fanboy over because they're both creators in their own respected ways. You know, well, not respected. Like well, I respect them. No, one created the actual franchise, and one created the fourth generation of My Little Pony, which created the Bernie phenomenon. So after the opening ceremonies, Race, Sarah, and I were walking to the elevator. We saw Lauren and her handler going down the escalator. And Race is like, oh my gosh, there's Lauren. And I kind of walked over to the edge and looked down and saw Lauren. I'm like, oh, I want to just shout out to her. Be like, you know, Lauren, Iron Giant, or Lauren, you know, Lord Hater from Wonder Over Yonder, which she worked on with Craig McCracken, her husband. And I kind of decided, like, well, you know, as much as I want to yell out to her and say hi and have her acknowledge my existence, senpai, I did not. I took my water cup and I held it close to my chest and I walked back to Race and Sarah and I said, guys, I've spent the last 3 or so years building up my reputation as a professional. I'm not going to waste it for her. And I took my plastic cup as we're walking towards the elevator and I threw it on the ground, hoping that it would ricochet up and bounce.
Plastic shards everywhere.
Plastic just shattered in every direction on the floor as the elevator door was opening. and lo and behold, Bonnie was standing there with her dress pant legs, just looking down, and she goes, "What the heck?" And I was mortified. I was on the ground on my knees, picking up the pieces.
Master.
No. You know they say drop your spaghetti. I dropped my spaghetti, and I was picking it up. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I didn't even make eye contact. I just knew it was her though, by her voice and by her outfit. And I was just so mortified. I was like, oh my god, she doesn't go to these cons often, you know? We got to make sure we have a good impression, all of us bronies, that we leave a good impression on Bonnie, the grand goddess.
You left your impression.
By throwing a plastic cup at her feet. Welcome to Equestria LA.
we're normal people.
I won't ruin it for you. Just shattering everywhere. And, God, I was mortified. And after she walked out, she was like, what the heck? She walked over and she just kind of left. And I was just blushing. And Race was just losing it. He was having a laughing fit. He was laughing so hard that he farted. And, that was
a good laugh.
I only wish that you farted sooner. It would have been funnier if you farted in front of her. Where she would have been like, you know, broken glass. Shh, I'm sorry. Ah! I mean, like, where am I?
I fell on the ground. I was laughing so hard. I couldn't even. The timing of everything. The fact that Saber vocalized his reasoning for not saying hi to Lauren. It was literally a movie scene that had happened in front of us.
I could see the elevator doors opening slowly. Like, everything was in slow motion where I'm like, I'm not going to embarrass myself in front of her. Throw a cup down, shatters, elevator doors opening. What the heck? No! I was so embarrassed.
Such a beautiful moment there.
I told Casey, who's a good friend of ours, about it. She's a contrast. And listen, Casey, in case you here through the grapevine, somebody threw a cup at Bonnie's feet, and it wasn't me. No, I told him, like, listen, I made this mistake. I hope that everything's okay. And she's like, no, I haven't heard about it. Don't worry, everything's fine. And everything was fine. Nothing came from that except for a couple of good laughs for me dropping my spaghetti. That I've done some dumb things. I've been in a flash mob of bronies at BronyCon 2012, led by the brave Jax Blade as he took us to
who's in the chat, by the way.
Oh, hey, Jax. Jax Blade, never forget BronyCon 2012. Jax Blade creating a flash mob of bronies, singing "Smile, Smile, Smile" as he marched into the streets and stopped traffic. And
wow,
that was a thing. But I usually own my embarrassing moments. I don't let them get to me. I believe with confidence and with class, you can own any embarrassing moment and make it awesome. But that right there was one of the times where I dropped my sketty.
I just want to throw this out. It's 6:36 right now.
My
time.
Yes, yes.
Well, I was just going to throw out that the way things are going, one thing we were kind of looking at was timing of the podcast. Saber, I know you and I had talked a little bit about this.
Yes.
I think what we'll definitely have today is going to be probably an hour and a half show for anyone that's trying to plan around it.
Yes.
So we'll probably be wrapping things up in about an hour from now.
There you go, guys. We got plenty of time. So, and the segments of the show that go on from this is we'll wrap up a question recap. We have the MLP episode. We'll talk about a Q&A with you all, while you all can ask us some questions, and we'll shoot the breeze, and then
Heck, we might ask
off.
you guys some questions. You never know.
Yeah, straw poll, baby. So, all right, let's get to Saturday, which is the day that I believe you should talk about.
All right, so Saturday, Friday in and of itself, I guess there's one last thing I'd like to add to Friday, and I'm alive. The Friday night was a long night.
It was.
It was Larson to blame, but there's a funny moment in the vlog that might not have a lot of context, but essentially Saber and I went up, I think it was just to meet up with Final Draft and say hi to some people, and next thing we know, we kind of ended up in the midst of this kind of a party setting, and when I got in, Larson was there signing everybody as he does, and I mentioned to him, I'm like, oh, my girlfriend mentioned how I never introduced you guys, because there was a moment literally where they were standing next to each other, and I didn't think to introduce. And so I told him, and he looks at me, and he's like, yeah, you a-hole. And I'm just like, thanks, Larson. He's like, where is she right now? Let's go get her. And it's funny. The guy left the party to go get my girlfriend from our room. So, and it surprised her and everything. So, I mean, it was one of those cool moments, and you just see like how much of a laid back guy Mitch really is. And I mean, it was just funny. A good night. Larson signed my leg that night because he wanted to sign my shirt for a third time. He signed it twice at BronyCon, like out of nowhere, and then he's like, just let me sign it one more time. And I had him begging, man. I had him begging to sign me.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'll let you sign my leg, but that's it. And it's just, thank you. So, so as you mentioned, Saturday. First off, the big day as far as panels go.
Whose Line was Saturday at 12:30, I believe. And we had B-Vids, our friend Henry, and we had Black Griffin, a.k.a. Gabe. Yep. And we also had Michael Krieber, who is Michelle Krieber, the voice of Appleblom's father. And then we also had Gabe's brother, Basic, a.k.a. Nathaniel, on guitar. And we also had some help from the audience who provided some instruments, like a keyboard and the guitar, because the con, we kind of count on them to have it, but we had some miscommunication. It didn't end up happening, but people pulled through for us, and everything worked fine. So we had our Who's Line. It was awesome. Had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. And then came the big moments of the day, if not for the... I mean, this weekend was full of big moments, from panels to Disneyland. But I feel like what was to happen later, Saturday, was the moment to define our weekend. And Race, tell us about it.
All right, so what, for those that don't know, on my YouTube channel, there's a series called The Low Budgets. And what this entire series is, and if you've never seen it or you've seen it and gone, this isn't something for me, hear me out. So the the series itself started when my best friend and I've known this guy Tommy out here since before we knew each other. Like 2 years old, we were hanging out. We're pretty much brothers, and we started doing these demolition destruction derby type of events against Egit
English.
and English, and the whole idea behind the series, the low budgets, was that we have some weird stuff happen when we're working on these cars, and some fairly funny moments, even out of context, that it's just like we have to start recording ourselves doing this stuff. And so we and plus it's cool to me. It's just a cool thing to share. I do demolition derbies. It's a fun thing. So we've been doing this for 2 seasons, and this 3rd season, what we've really been getting into actually is painting up cars, and I have the artist of those cars right over here, but we're painting them up as MLP characters. I've ran Applejack in a demolition derby that no one's seen yet, as far as the low budgets. That series or that episode will be coming. But Saber, you were going to come out here. Night of Destruction landed on the exact same weekend as EQLA.
So awesome. So awesome. It worked out so well.
Yeah, so we're going to put Saberspark in a demolition derby.
Heck yeah, and this was my first time really going to a racetrack, despite there being one like less than like 10 miles away from where I live. And
Shame.
Ding. So I've seen so much of Race and his low budgets and this other life he lives on the track with his cars and with his friend Tommy, and it's just like, how he has his My Little Pony stuff, he has this stuff as well. And I felt so honored to participate and join in with them. So like the moment we got there, it was on, Race, like it's almost like a button was pressed and he was ready to go like into game mode for this. We need this, we need that, get the car prepped. Tommy, do this, let's do that, let's do this. Saber, put on this racetrack suit. Saber, get in the car, try it out. There's a porno video in there. There was.
So we have this event called a trailer race, and usually you have to clean out the trailer for safety purposes. And apparently one of the trailers was filled with these VHS tapes of some really fantastic content. So yeah, so Tommy put one like tape in each of my cars. It was hilarious.
Yeah, when I got in the car, I was like, what is this? What is back to? Oh no! Don't touch it with your hands. Burn it.
Honestly, I was like, I wanted to truck one out during an event, and I forgot to. So it stayed in my car, and I'm sure the fire and safety crew got to my car later and was like,
what is this?
Why?
All right, no wonder why you got second place. No, no, you got first place in the demolition derby, which is pretty awesome. And there were multiple events throughout the night. The trailer race. There was the enduro, in which I drove with Race as a passenger, and Tommy, his friend, drove as the driver with Sarah, his Jeffrey's or Race's girlfriend, as a passenger. So that was a cool race. That was when we kind of warmed up with bumping into cars, and Race though was a good driver. He's just avoiding the accidents. But
that time, the last time I did it, I had my girlfriend in the car, and I did not avoid the accident.
It happens. I think you're one who can safely say that accidents happen on the track.
Well, what's good about it is too, like, sometimes people joke about it and whatnot, but I honestly have a lot better driving skills doing this stuff because I have such a better awareness around me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm used to avoiding wrecks on the track where I know wrecks are going to happen. When you go out on the streets, you should just avoid wrecks. Or, I mean, just assume wrecks are going to happen.
Yeah, I should avoid
wrecks. Trust me, I'm good at this. So yeah, no, Saturday was a blast, and it was so cool to have you part of it. And
oh, yeah, absolutely.
You did, I don't know if I told you, you did officially finish last.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I mean,
I
had no power steering, and also I had this fear of because you're supposed to hit with the back of your car. That seems to be a very important part of demolition derbies. That's your weapon. Don't hit with your front, hit with your back. And I was afraid to look backwards in reverse. I'm actually a really good driver, but with the power steering on top of the fear of being hit while turned around, I thought that would like hurt my neck, which it would. And next time I need to get over that and just go for it. But the coolest thing though was to be in this line of cars that were entering the track. one or two or one at a time, I can't recall. But to see that audience just roaring in front of you and see these blinding lights and see the people up on this little like staircase or whatever, or that little like tower, like waving their flags and getting people lined up and ready to ram into each other. That was so cool. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Bang, bang, bang. Yep. It was over quickly for me. But Race here fought a long battle and came out on top and won the Demolition Derby and got a trophy for it.
Yeah, a Pinkie Pie car of all things, yeah.
And let me tell you all right now, I was freaking out, cheering from the entire time because there's dash cam footage inside the car, outside the car that Race will have on his YouTube channel here in a while. But what was so cool though is at the end it was somewhat of a tie between him and the other person, and it came down to a who the audience wanted to pick. Kind of like a good old-fashioned, Roman, gladiator, who's going to live and who's going to die. And as soon as I found out that it came down to audience selection, I'm like, Race has got this one. Because you know how to work a crowd, and you got on the roof of your car and started, come on, people, come on. And I'm like, oh, it's...
With my pants falling off. We we wear these borrowed driver suits. I'm now able to afford one after the good night we had, but... my suit didn't have the latch or a zipper, so I jumped on my suit I jumped on the car, and you could see my pants are slowly working their way down to my ankles. That's probably why I won.
Well, that's a secret that I should wear no pants next time. So that was Saturday. There's some other events, but we ended it with having a good old dinner with the friends and heading back to the hotel and with our sore bodies going right to bed.
Oh, we crashed out hard, and then we Sunday came around. I think we got up around, 10:30 or so. We had a panel, the content creator panel. And what was cool about this is it was Tommy's first time ever coming out. The low-budget Tommy coming out to the convention, EQLA. And I was able to share that experience with him because he's known me to be going to these for the past 3 years. And he's like, I have to see one for myself. And we got him up on the panel, and we showed people the demolition footage, and it was a nice ending to EQLA 2015, a great convention. I felt like they budgeted things right. The space felt right. It didn't feel too crowded at times. At the same time, it didn't feel empty either. I thought they did really good with their venue choice. Obviously, they did fantastic with their guests. So that was a good convention.
It was a very great convention. And then to add, just for points for posterity, we went to Disneyland on Labor Day, on Monday.
Yep.
And that was a great time. Got to hang out with Gabe and the Creevers a bit. And then we headed back home, and I flew back to Georgia the following Tuesday morning. So, yeah, it was a great convention. It was a great time. Always good to see friends. Always good to see you. And have a good time and put on a good show.
And another thing, just to finish it off, one of the things that also made this weekend really special was that, like you mentioned it earlier, that it was Michelle's birthday.
Yes, it was.
So that was a cool thing to be a part of, be able to, celebrate her 16th birthday, and it was just, I don't know, it was just a lot of fun, even though...
I want to tell one more story now, but I'm not sure. It's definitely not PG-13. It's up there. I'm gonna say it anyway.
I don't. The fun part is I don't know which story you're gonna tell.
The cake story.
You tell it.
Okay. A quick disclaimer to those who are watching this on SoundCloud or YouTube, and for those who are watching this currently live. For kids, turn it off unless you don't care. Whatever. This is definitely not a PG story.
Sure, I'd say I'm going to give Saber 5 minutes to tell this story.
Oh, it'll be over in 5 minutes.
So within 5 minutes, you can turn it back on. Oh, God, Shia LaBeouf showing up in the chat. Go away!
Shoo, Shia, shoo. All right, so, at least it's not John Cena. No. Is there a trumpet emote? All right, so that sounded more like The Price is Right, song. Okay, so what ended up happening is there was a private party after the convention, and Race and I were invited, and we decided to drop by quickly and say hello and get some free food and scamper. And No, I mean it's
Make
always.
it sound so bad.
I know. It's no.
No.
Oh, happy Hanukkah. No. We of course just wanted to go by and say hi and have a good time, see some friends, but we couldn't stay there for too long. We had to get going. So we I'm trying to recall exactly why we had to leave. Because Sarah was freaking starving. Because Sarah can't eat certain
Gluten.
foods. Yeah, she can't. So we needed to get her some energy because she hadn't eaten all day except for like a peanut butter cup in the morning. I think.
I want to point out real quick.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. How's that? What are you eating? What are you eating right now?
Cheetos.
Why are you eating? Why are you?
Because this was a brony podcast. I was just trying to fit the part.
Oh,
damn it.
well, milady. All right, you
I
want
was
to
gonna
say?
say our viewership jumped like 10 viewers when you told everyone to turn it off. So,
Oh Lord! All right, guys,
good stuff. Somebody watch this episode.
shut it down, boys. All right, so at the party with the Creepers, of course, and some other folks, M.A. Larson was there, and I'm not sure if you all saw. It's on Michelle Creeper's Twitter.
You're telling this story.
Yes, I am. I'm telling this story. So, Michelle had a apple bloom cake that was made for her. It looked like an apple bloom, and it was with that fondant icing and other icing, whatever fondant, whatever fondant, whatever French.
Jumanji.
Jumanji theater. So when we're at the party, Michelle's mother, Monique, started walking around the room saying, "Guys, come on, time to gather up and cut the cake. Time to cut the cake." And you know how some people will put a weird emphasis on a word just to sound different? Like, I must go to the bathroom. Or I'm going to have a slice of pizza. Or whatever. They put on just a weird emphasis on a word.
No, I don't know.
Some people do that. And Monique decided to do that while asking people it's time to cut the cake.
Yeah.
And she's walking past me and Amy Larson, and she's like, "Come on, you all, it's time to cut the cock." And I know she said cake, cock, CALDUK, whatever. But M.A. Larson just kind of just opened his eyes wide open. He looked at me and he goes, Did Michelle's mother just say cock?" And we both just started laughing our butts off. And we walked over to the cake and sung happy birthday. And then Michelle decided to take her cake cutter or knife, whatever, and start severing the head off of Apple Bloom, which was very, interesting to think, like, man, if I saw this 5 years ago, I'd be emotionally scarred. But now I'm like, yeah, do it. Cut off her head. Take it off.
You held it in the air at one point.
Yeah, I did. It was a moment of victory. But after Apple Bloom's head was cut off, Emily Larson kind of bumped my arm a bit, and he leaned and he goes, "Michelle just cut off the cock's head." Oh, Lord. So that was pretty funny. I mean, the Creebers, awesome, amazing, wonderful people.
Just wait, because I'm sure Mitch got plenty of episode ideas just from that one party.
Is he just looking like, I think I got a season finale planned now.
Penny Royal Academy 2, the graduation.
The severance package. But, yeah, that was one of the stories. So that was our Equestriale. It was a good time, and we look forward to the next one. But I think we've got some time to talk about the MLP episode quickly, and then we'll hop into Q&A.
Let's please talk about this episode. All right, so
it was called Canterlot Boutique, I believe, right?
Yes, sure.
Sure.
Well, I'll be honest. When I saw the episode, I was watching it with Sarah. She had already seen it, and for me, like thinking back to it, I didn't even really gather the whole fact of like that she went to Canterlot. So I don't know if I was like talking while all like the buildup of the story was going on. I just kind of accepted whatever was going on. What did you think of it, Saber?
Okay, so first off, spoilers. We'll be talking about this episode in detail. So I haven't seen an episode of MLP for like a few months, actually. I think the last time I saw an episode was Morty. Was the Rainbow Dash turtle one on Netflix, where she like Tank was going to hibernation.
Don't worry, folks. I'll get them caught up.
I'll catch up. So, yeah, this episode. So I like Rarity episodes. They tend to be deeper than the other ones and have a bit more of a better plot.
I knew we had our differences.
And this episode pissed me off, though. It pissed me off. And I was watching it with Paleo and with Matt and with Hirasashi, and Hiro and I were on the same wavelength, because when at the end of the episode, you have this Sassy Saddles character who's a unicorn, a very skinny, tall unicorn, who was put in charge of like drumming up business and taking care of logistical stuff for the store.
Now, Saber, before you go any further, I want to ask the chat a question here. I want you guys to, eventually it's going to catch up as you continue telling your story. I want everybody to let me know, did you guys think that Rarity was in the right? In the sense of, like, were you on her side in this episode, or was she pissing you off? Like,
well, absolutely. Like, I mean, I know my opinion's probably going to sway some people's opinions, but so
yourself a lot of credit.
Oh, I am. Yes. So, what ended up happening is, like, Rarity like found success with her boutique here in Canterlot, and she had one dress in particular that all the ponies wanted to buy, and they were kind of ignoring her other dresses. So Rarity, being the entrepreneur that she is, decided to build 100 dresses on her own. And there was a time where one of these dresses she decided to improvise, and she changed the order and put in different gems for this pony's order. And she's like, here's your order. I made some changes. Wouldn't you say that this dress is better now? This is when I started to disagree with the episode. If I ordered a cheeseburger with bacon and you gave me a fish sandwich, I'm going to be upset. I wanted a cheeseburger. I don't want a fish sandwich. I want what I ordered. And Rarity took initiative, but in a way that was like, you should have talked to the customer first. You changed their order. You wasted their time. This pony's like, yeah, this change is cool, but I wanted what I ordered. Come on. That's just dumb. That's bad business.
Now, a lot of people are saying, and I expected this. I expected when I watched it. However, talking to you, I know that I was like, okay, so there are some people, but a lot of people are saying, yes, they are on Rarity's side here. Now,
what?
Now, wait, there's no problem with that. However, I do want to say why I also was yelling at my TV throughout this episode. Saber, as you've already kind of laid out, it's that Rarity's whole argument throughout this episode was, hey, I want to make something new, something this, something that. The what's her name? Sassy wasn't saying, oh, you can't. She was saying, this is what we're going to do to make this company a success. What she was paid to do, which was manage the store. It's like, okay, I get that.
Sassy has the job of making this boutique a success. All right, you find an item that's successful. Okay, this item, this dress in particular, it sells. And Rarity, you should outsource next time. You know, hire some people to make.
And that's what she said she was gonna do. Like, Sassy was like, we're gonna have, quote, what was it, the assembly line or whatever.
That's right. And
and she's
Ford.
like, Rarity, you would never have to sew again. Well, obviously Rarity was like, oh my god, that's terrible. But the idea there isn't you'll never sew again. It's that you don't have to sew that dress that you already don't want to sew again.
Design. Oh, what world do we live in? Is this in this world capitalism does not fly, apparently, because Rarity. You hire people. You could have put a bunch of people in business. You could have given them a job. Rarity, she does
not support the unemployment. Vote for
12% unemployment in Canada is at 12%. Rarity's boutique. She could have helped. She could have I know now there's some pony who's working at, like, I don't know, the dump, who can't get a job.
Yeah, hayseed turnip truck.
Hayseed turnip truck. This is horrible. So, and the worst part of all is that Sassy Saddles apologized. apologize. I'm Rarity. I'm sorry for making your boutique a success. For giving you income. For making an item and pushing it forward that makes your boutique successful. I'm sorry. What kind of lesson is that teaching children? None. Nothing. Listen, kids who are listening right now, if you find something that works, that sells, you push it, all right? You move forward with it. You innovate, okay? And I guess the thing that bothers me is Rarity had every chance to talk to her and say, listen, all right, here's how it's going down. I want to design these dresses. Go ahead and get the assembly line going. We're gonna push some other dresses and try to diversify. That's fine.
You could have, yeah, because there's nothing in that episode said Rarity can't keep creating new dresses, and that is the way that Rarity took it. Was, well, I'm not happy because I have to make the same one, even though the outlet for not having to create the same one was actually handed to her. Said, this is what we're going to do. This is how businesses work. No, I actually saw a hilarious tweet. You might have seen it too.
What?
Let me pull it up here. But I get, like I said, I understand where people can side with Rarity, because if you look specifically at the whole, like, oh, you don't want to keep making the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, that wasn't what was happening, though. That's where I was like, huh.
And there's somebody, I mean, people are making a good point that Sassy started to do things without Rarity's, like, consent. That's true. All right, Sassy did take some initiative and be like, okay, like, oh, look at this, guys. Ooh. But I feel like that's okay. Like, you know, it's her job to do that. If Rarity didn't want it to happen, then they'd be like, hey, listen, you know, slow your roll. Let's not do that. I'm the boss. I'm writing your paycheck, so don't do that again.
I was going to say, if you're a boss and you have an employee who's not doing what you want,
tell them.
Or fire them.
Or like fire them.
You can take care of it. I get it. As a content creator myself, I don't want to keep making the same thing over and over again. I like to branch out, try new things. But that wasn't what I gathered from this episode. I get what Rarity's argument was, but it was like you wanted to sit her down and say, Rarity, listen to me. You're making terrible business decisions. I like it she was going to close down the shop because they were being successful.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
I got what I wanted. All right, so this is the tweet I was talking about, which I thought was hilarious. It was posted by Jenny, who is the girl who made Friendship is Witchcraft.
Jenny.
And she put out this tweet the day of the episode, and it was just perfect. She put, reenact this episode about the evils of mass production with the My Little Pony Rarity Carousel Boutique playset. Now Toys R Us stores. Brilliant.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the
Brilliant.
truth?
So yeah, no, and that's the thing. I wanted to hit upon this. I enjoyed the episode. Maybe it's because Rarity's pissed me off before, but I don't know. To me, I was like, Rarity, what are you doing?
Like, I understand the importance of speaking up. If that's the lesson, then cool. That's the lesson. Like, learn how to speak up and tell people what you're really thinking. That makes sense. But Sassy is in no way a villain in this. She's not a bad person. She was doing her job. That's it.
Marlon was saying Sassy is Hasbro.
We G3.5. No, but
that's great, Lauren. But this is how we're gonna do it.
All right, cool, Lauren. But Trixie's gonna be a girl. That actually was part of one of Lauren's things from Equestria LA, saying that apparently Trixie was supposed to be a guy, but they said make it a girl. All right, so is that enough for the episode? You want to talk about Q&A?
No.
What's up?
There is one more thing we need to talk about that episode.
Oh, please do. Oh, the fat pony.
What was that?
I don't know.
It came out of left field.
A sale?
I'll be honest. It took me a second to realize I had seen what I had seen.
There's nothing wrong with her weight or anything, but it was like, whoa, that looks like somebody.
It wasn't the weight.
Some bad drawing of an OC character.
You know, I always give. That was what it was.
But which is weird because
it made me laugh. But I also, it was one of those jokes that I don't know if I was the only one. Did you guys feel like you were outside of an inside joke for that one?
A little. No, hold on. That episode where there was crawling with awesome OCs though. Like some of these new background ponies looked awesome. There was like,
I like that one pony who had that like really raspy voice that was like
you mean Mod Pie? No, yeah, there was a oh shoot, Lemon Drops, is that what they called her? I forget. There was like this one cute little blonde pony. And then there was this little nerdy pony too with braces. I mean, there were some really adorable background ponies. She has.
Yeah, oh yeah. Sarah was really excited when she showed up. So.
Oh, I didn't know she was in other episodes.
Yep. I don't remember what episode it was. I know Sarah was like, "Ah, it's this one. She's back." But yeah, no, that pony was like, wow, and it was like I said, it made me laugh. I thought it was really funny. At the same time, I'm like, where is this coming from? I know that the pony's shown up in, I guess, in a locker in a previous episode, but I just I was like, what happened?
That was interesting.
We have transcended into the internet. I don't know. It was hilarious.
Let's go ahead and hop into Q&A. How about that?
Let's do it.
All right, folks. We will not take a break here so we can get everybody's questions in if we can. If you want to ask questions, please go to my Twitter or Race's Twitter and ask us a question. I'm going to link you all my Twitter account right here. I would...
link mine.
Oh, let me find yours then.
Link it.
ACRacebest. Here we go. It's hard to read Twitch questions because they move so very fast.
Yeah, it does, and once we're answering one, we'll lose the next, so...
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start going through the questions I found here on my Twitter. Let me see if I find the first one. Alright, so... This one's from Nick Crockett. He says to us, what was your favorite thing about BronyCon 2015?
Ooh, BronyCon 2015. While I think about the specific favorite thing... BronyCon 2015 once again impressed. It was very tightly run. The staff were. I know that one of the shining moments for us with the staff was just prior to the Who's Line event. We realized there was some equipment we needed, and we're like, we need this, and there was no hesitation. The response from the staff was
top notch.
Okay, we'll get that. It was like, wow.
I think I heard that they were a union, or they were a very very reputable group of people who've done this before. So, and it definitely showed. They were very good.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
For me, not Bernie's Reacts. Screw that. No. Who's Line with Monty and Jesse, aka No Whacking. That was just the best. That was, in my opinion, our greatest Who's Line ever. And the audience was amazing. I think we had a couple thousand people out there. The games went smoothly. They were funny. Everything was just perfect. I would never forget that event. That was great.
I'm gonna mirror that. The Who's Line event was just incredible. And because I knew you were gonna say that one, I also thought of another. This was more of a humbling experience because after our Bronies React panel, which ended after I think 1:15 in the morning, we had a group of people that they wanted to stay for a picture or an autograph, or some of them literally stayed in this line just to say thank you. And these people were in this line till, what was it, like 2:30?
Yes.
Past 30 in the morning?
The con people were like, y'all gotta head out now. You've been here for too long.
And we were like, okay, we're just finishing up. And they're like, oh, don't worry. I mean, they were still cool about it, but to me, I was like, it's incredible to me that there are people that are willing to wait. One of the last people in line walked up, shook our hand, said, thanks for everything you do, and that's all he wanted to do. He waited an hour in the middle of the night to tell us that, and I was like, that was special to me. So that was also a really cool moment.
All right, and the next question here we have from Red Card. Hi, Red Card, how are you? This question is, this is a question from myself. What was it like to be in a demolition derby for the first time in LA? Red Card was, you're kind of in shock. At least I was in shock. There's so much going on around you. It's impossible to take it all in and process it. So you just kind of got to go and follow your instincts, which includes hitting cars, letting them hit you. Ray's told me keep my neck, limber. So don't tighten up. Don't don't get too tight. Just take a hit and kind of roll off and keep going. To which I think I did okay with. So
You probably did, given that you didn't have a stiff neck the next day.
my
Yeah.
legs, man, I hurt my legs a lot. My legs were bruised, but everything else was pretty okay.
Very cool.
All right, next question here is from Swift.
I got one. No.
Go on.
I have one. Alec Greer wants us to
Oh, shout out to
describe
Alec. Alec's a cool dude.
describe the perfect salad.
I had a Cobb salad for dinner with some avocado dressing and some hot sauce. It was very good.
That's an interesting combination. I'm gonna go ahead and actually, I was gonna say a Cobb. I like the variety in it, and blue cheese. Just dump blue cheese all over my salad. Just more blue cheese than salad.
That kind of invalidates, I want to be healthy and have a salad. And half a jar of blue cheese, please.
All right, who do you got?
I have Swift Blaze saying, oh, this is more of a statement. I'm ready for the stream. Let's do it. So there it is.
Very good.
Sir Sonic, though, here's a question. Sir Sonic HD says, have you played Metal Gear Solid 5? Or are you interested in playing it? I've not played that game. I've seen some awesome videos, though, of goofy antics from Donkey playing that game. It looks pretty funny.
Donkey?
That's the video I showed you.
You are the donkey?
Like Dunkey. That guy's hilarious. I showed you the video of him when we were at, I think it was Sunday night or Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I've also never played it myself. There's a lot of, actually, it's funny, there's a lot of, like, first-person shooter, war game, various types of games out there that I'm like, oh, I gotta play this, and I never get around to it.
I've never played Metal Gear Solid, ever.
Okay. Daniel Munoz wants to know. Oh, no, he doesn't have a question. He has a request.
What's his request?
He says, do an impression of the background ponies in the episode. You go first.
That's it. I did my best Applejack impersonation.
Wow, that was good.
Thank you.
That was really good. I'm gonna be the large pony here. I'm gonna start with him.
Keep those Cheetos away. Did you have a stroke?
Wasn't that what that pony at the end was doing?
Having a stroke, maybe? Jesus. All right, next question here from Daniel Munez as well, saying, what was opinion of Sassy Saddles? All right, we already answered this question, but thank you, Daniel. Drummer Shy 8 says, what has been your favorite ride at Disneyland so far when you went to Equestria LA?
Saber.
Yes.
What is it?
My favorite ride is the Indiana Jones ride. That is such a fun ride.
Indiana Jones for me. I get so immersed into that ride. I guess I act like an idiot regularly, but no, I have a lot of fun on that ride. So
well,
Indiana Jones for me.
I love how you get into it. You'll be usually in the back or off to the side, and you'll be even like when somebody who's not like in our group is driving the wheel, you'll tell them drive, and they'll
in the clutch.
and they'll get into it. They'll be okay, and they'll start like pretending to drive the car. I think the immersion is the best part of that ride. It makes it stand out from every other ride at Disneyland.
Absolutely. I'm gonna try and say this name. It has numbers and letters in it, and I'm gonna try and say it how I would. Sconlerone.
Sounds close enough.
Sconlerone. Thank you so much. Are you guys going to react to other brony-based MLP series like Friendship is Witchcraft, etc.? I've never counted it out. As of right now, we don't have any immediate plans. I'm dying over here. We don't have any immediate plans to do a react to any MLP series. However, that's not saying it won't happen in the future. And generally with the reacts, there's no like planning ahead except for usually the Halloween reacts, which, as I've mentioned before, we're still up in the air if we're going to have a Halloween react, given when a different react is probably going to be coming out around that time anyways. If we don't have a Halloween react, we'll look to have a different season or holiday of the year react. So yeah.
This next question is from The Real Super Brony. He says, what is your favorite pizza?
Meat lovers with stuffed crust.
Oh, that is heaven. That is, I've been in a Skype call last couple of days with Matt, a.k.a. Cookie Soup, a.k.a. DB Pony. He's from New York, and he is the authority on pizza. Like, I think he spoke for like at least 30 minutes with your with Panama Matt talking about pizza
I
and
thought you were gonna say like he spoke with 30 nations and
the
about.
United Nations. He had the floor and he was telling them why pizza's the solution to world peace. But no, Matt knows his stuff, and it sounds like any other pizza besides like I mean, any other pizza when compared to New York pizza is like a disgrace. So,
Let's see here. Imperfect 13 wants to know: are you looking forward to friendship games? Yes, I am because I don't know what to expect. It's actually funny because I talked to Saber a little bit about this, but a lot of people might not know this, but I hate running into spoilers. And it's funny that we're doing a podcast on MLP where more than likely spoilers are going to be brought up, and I'm going to be like, huh? Because I don't, for depending on the movie, depending on the series, I avoid commercials for or trailers for shows. Not so much movies, but shows. I haven't seen anything for Friendship Games, but I'm excited about it because I know there's going to be a Bronies React coming for it.
yeah. I've seen very few trailers for it, and it's going to be very much so a mystery to me, so I'm excited for that.
Nice.
The next question here, let me see if I can find it. Where'd you go? Wow, I have 41 notifications. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I got quite a few over here, too.
We got to do a lightning round here because we got 15 minutes left. So this one's from Nightfire. This is a good one. Saying Nightfire says you should tell everyone on the stream to ask questions with the tag #SemiPerfectPodcast. It's a good suggestion. So yeah, folks, if you can do that, that makes it easier for us to just track it down. Dexter Knight says, what are your favorite video games? I love Ace Combat. I love Hearthstone. What about you?
God, I hate how our answers keep landing on the same. I was going to say Ace Combat. I love some like Demolition Derby type racing games. And then your PC with TF2 and Left 4 Dead.
There's a Mad Max game that came out not too long ago, I think, that you would probably enjoy.
I've been told about it, and I'm looking into it once I eventually get a PS4 here. Alec Greer has another question, and I'm asking this one because I know that you have thoughts on this, and maybe we have differing thoughts. I saw this last night. Thoughts on the Jungle Book trailer?
Oh, I'll make this quick. It looks... Okay, so initially I thought it was ridiculous. I'm like, why are they going so extreme? Why are they making this such a weird action-y, not explosions, but just like almost like Peter Jackson's King Kong, almost like King Louis is enormous and everything looks so super serious. But I guess Disney's is going in this direction right now where they're taking all of their films, like their old cartoon films, and like making them like super serious live action, which is kind of odd. Like I'm expecting to see like the Aristocats explosions and the French butler's like, get back, shooting a machine gun at these 3 enormous, kittens that are like clawing at his eyes. So I'm gonna watch it. I bet it will be entertaining for the fact that Christopher Walken is the voice of King Louis. That fact alone makes it kind of interesting. But it's not going to be that classical or the classic Disney. Like, okay, they had the nerve of doing the bare necessities jingle as a whistle at the end of the trailer. I'm like, oh, shut up.
That was a good try, by the way.
Well, whatever. I'm like, pick a side. Either be a super serious Jungle Book movie or be the lighthearted, animated series one. I pick one or the other.
I don't know. I personally think that this movie looks pretty badass, and I'm excited about it after seeing that trailer. There's been other live-action remakes that I've looked at and been like, I wonder how that'll be, and I was kind of like, that's okay. But I don't know. This one, it looks cool, and I'm excited about it. I love the Pirates movies, and when it was, I don't know. I just kind of it has kind of a Pirates feel to it because there was fire.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
I'm going to pronounce this wrong, and I apologize. Caleb Geist wants to know, I've heard that Irwindale Speedway might be closing next year. Is that true? And if so, what does it mean for the low budgets? Irwindale Speedway right now was the land that it sits on. The people who own the track do not own the land. The land was sold separately. It's kind of a weird scenario. But the track is on leased land, and that's left some things open for its future. For those that don't know, Irwindale Speedway is where we do all of our destruction events. For Irwindale, as of right now, it is not slated to close for next year. There are still plenty of tests that the Chinese company that purchased the land that wants to redevelop it into a outlet mall, they have a lot of tests to do and a lot of things that need to pass before they're ever going to get approval for building. And honestly, the land that track sits on is a very poorly filled landfill. So we'll see how that goes. I'm crossing my fingers that it never does. But what it means for the low budgets, let's say that Irwindale Speedway does close in any time in the future, it could very well mean the end of the series, unfortunately, just because right now we don't have any capabilities of driving those cars around. We don't have a truck. We don't have a trailer. All of our cars stay at the track. So crossing our fingers that everything's able to keep going, but I'm sure we'll try and find an alternate.
All right, next question here. Yada, yada, yada. Hunter Shaw says, are you watching the Republican debate that is on CNN tonight? I am not. I'll have to check that out some other time. I'll hit up the highlight.
Yeah, man. I personally am not watching it right now myself either, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of highlight reels out there. Love and Sky wants to know what's your favorite MLP episode?
Season 2 finale, without a doubt. I love that episode. It's just everything came together so nicely.
I'll say season 4 finale. It's the T-Rex episode just had me in a wow state. I was like, what is going on? I loved it.
Got one from TuneLink here saying, do you think you'll get, say, guest stars on your fancy new podcast? Absolutely. That's something we'll need to explore. And
No.
Oh, never mind. The answer is no. No, we'll look into it. It'd be cool to get some friends to join us and maybe some guests from the show if they want to participate. So thank you for asking that question, and we'll wait and see who we find.
Alec Greer wants to know shower or baths?
Shower.
Bath.
Do you take baths more often than showers?
Well, yeah, I do.
That's so bizarre.
Well, check it out. All right, when I wake up.
Check it out.
Dr. Steve Brule. When I wake up in the morning, I look at
Your
bath time as an opportunity for like 10 more minutes of sleep.
Do you sleep in the bath? Do you sleep in the bathtub?
Is that a bad idea?
You're gonna drown.
I was
Sarah's gonna walk into the bath.
I was born in the pool, my friend.
Were you really?
Check it out. No, I was not
come
really
out
born in the pool.
underwater
However,
birds.
I've been swimming since I was like 8 years old. I've done some very interesting things.
You just sit in the bathtub, sleeping. What's the point? Why? First off, 10 minutes of sleep is nothing. What's the point?
Excuse you.
Next.
Excuse you.
That's nothing. That's a second in sleep time. What's the point? And next thing, you're gonna drown one of these days. Where Sarah's gonna walk in and see your butt turned over, and you're just floating there, pasty.
It's not that big of a bathtub, actually. She would just see me kind of like stuck, like. Well, it wouldn't be pretty, you know.
Throw me the lifeguard tube.
Yeah, no, no, it would look like Gollum trying to like sleep in a sleeping bag. You'd just be like.
The irony of a Californian drowning.
Bob E1 is asking if we'll be doing a Bernie's React for MLP Equestria Girls Friendship Games. I think I already answered that. Yes, we will be.
Juan says, what will you be doing in the next 5 years? That is a very big question with lots of answers.
Hopefully still living.
Yeah, still alive. Still hanging out with my good friends. We'll see what the future holds. I mean, last 5 years, has been quite the trip, and we'll see what the next 5 have in store.
Excited to see it. Definitely can't wait to see not only what everything else has in store, but what we'll end up making later down the road. So, Lucky Thunderlane wants to know, what is the worst/weirdest experience at a convention?
That's a good question. You want to start first?
I got mine. It was definitely weirdest. It was just.
Go on.
I guess I could qualify as worst, but I just I laughed these kind of things off. I got kissed on my neck, and it was weird.
Tell them.
I wasn't expecting it. This guy who's now known as Emily, he asked me for a hug at the end of one of our panels, and he had already been kind of making slight commotion, so I'd already noticed this guy's interesting. and he asked me for a hug. And up to this point, I've had a success rate with hugs. And all of a sudden, I felt his slightly non-shaven mouth caress my neck, and I was like, "This is that's
Interesting.
happening." So yeah, that was my what was yours, Saber? What's your worst experience at a convention?
Worst?
What compares to being as bad as Bonnie Zackerley's?
That's probably the moment. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that has to be it. That was pretty crazy.
That was funny.
Let's move along here. We got about another 5 minutes. I'm going to do a rapid fire here. So Chris FK says, are there any of your old videos that you find impossible to watch on the editor's level? Example, clip cuts seem way too slow. Battle of the Brony has a lot of audio issues, and I wish I could go. I mean, I could go back and fix it, but I'm gonna let it be.
I have some. Well, I can't remember which one it was. I had a react. I'm very picky when it comes to editing, specifically for the reacts, and I had a react that I had like some error in it, and it drove me crazy. I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I left that in."
Didn't Jay Holler catch that? He's like, you made a mistake.
No, that was on a different video. That one also was like, oh man, that was a memoir of season 3, I think. I rendered it incorrectly, so I had to put a new render up of a higher quality. So yeah, but other than that, I mean, usually I'm able to go back to the videos. I like looking back at old stuff. Here's a question: do you have, or from Swift Blaze, do you have plushie, and which ones is your favorite? I have a couple Rainbow Dash plushies actually that I've been given at conventions, and they're super cute and super special. But I'd have to say my favorite plushie though has got to be the one that stuck around with me ever since I was a little wee kid, and he's named Puppy.
Aw, I got a teddy bear. I've had it since I was born, and he's still in my closet. I take him out whenever I have existential crises. Existential. So next question here is from Kibara84 saying, will you, Race, or I ever
attend Nightmare Night Dallas?
Yes. If they ever invite us, and then maybe perhaps. Marlon says, do you guys plan to visit Brony Fair 2016, and do you honestly think you're fracking funny? Oh, we're delightful. No, Marlon, if once again, if we talk again and maybe work something out, we'll see if we can join you guys in 2016.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. One person asks, it's Patrick McLaughlin asks, how can you afford to go to Disney all the time? Well, the easy answer there is I live near Disneyland. So for me, the biggest cost is actually just the ticket. The most sensible ticket is the most expensive one for me, unfortunately, because I work a full-time job. So staying employed is how I afford to go to Disney all the time.
What else we got here? We got from...
I got one real quick.
Go ahead.
Dr. Melody posted this super cute picture, and she says, do you like my fan art?
I see it. That's adorable.
It is super adorable. I love it.
Melody, thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's see here. You got another one?
Chandler says, this is probably far off from questions you're getting right now, but what do you think of bulk biceps? Yeah! I think he's a great background character.
I love him. I just love what they've done with this character, too. One of my favorite moments for him was when he was in the dress, and he was with Fluttershy. Beautiful. Here we go. Someone asked, do you like Pegasister or Brony better? For me personally, I kind of just call everyone a Brony.
Yes.
And it might be kind of because Sarah, my girlfriend, prefers to go by Brony. She thinks Pegasister is a mouthful. I laugh when I make Brony's reacts, and people are like, but there's Pegasisters. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same thing. At least I think so.
Yeah, that was Lillian Vancott who asked that question.
Batman of Justice says, any upcoming movie you guys hype for? Star Wars! Can't wait for Star Wars.
There's I'm actually interested to see how that Peter Pan movie is. That one that's coming out. It looks like an interesting one.
Oh my god. All right, and
what?
I think, unfortunately, we got so many questions left here. We're going to have to cut this off for now. We'll save your
But
questions for next week. We'll
next
be
week-
back next week.
We'll be back every week, guys. This is going to be a weekly deal. Thank you so much for everybody submitting your questions. We had a lot of fun with you guys.
Yes.
Like we said, the more we do this, the more we're going to kind of look to you guys, both for topics to discuss, questions. We'll ask you guys. We'll talk about what you're talking about. And we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Saber and I are going to continue to grow this semi-perfect podcast. Saber, it's been a good night.
It has, and thank you all so much for joining us. It's been so much fun. We love talking to you all. We love putting on a good show and sharing our stories and having you all graciously listen to them. So we will see you guys next time. We'll be here same time, same day next week, and we'll be bringing some extra stories and our thoughts about the episode this Saturday.
Yep. So you all have a great week, and we'll see you then.
And a quick shout out to POS Podcast, that Paleo Stino. He has a podcast on Mondays. It's bi-weekly. He has one this coming Monday. I'm a part of that one. It's kind of just a jack of all trades for entertainment. And then next Thursday, I'm doing a happy hour history podcast with Final Draft. We just shoot the breeze about random history stuff. So that should be fun. And that will be on this channel as well. So, all right. Talk to you all next time. Have an excellent night. And thank you for joining us.